I'm Aidan Taylor. I'm a project manager working for Maindy Unlimited, and I work on a project called the Newport Circular Economy Project. The circular economy is all about reimagining waste, and we try and break it down to 3 principles: to reduce waste wherever possible, to keep things in circulation, to keep on using things over and over as long as we possibly can, and also to protect nature or protect the natural environment. There's so much exciting stuff happening in Newport today. There's different groups and organisations working in repair and reuse and sharing. So what we've been trying to do is get these groups to talk to each other a little bit more. We're trying to foster those conversations. But it's also clear that there's different challenges, and we're really trying to work out what the best way is to respond to those, because we want to see these things carrying on far into the future. We want them to become normalised and parts of everyday activities.
Disposable nappies are so normalised, just disposable everything is so normalised now. It's only really 40 years since everyone was using terry toweling nappies. So I go to a lot of baby groups, antenatal groups, meet a lot of pregnant mums, midwives, health visitors, and some of those just go, no, it's not, I'm not doing that. It's easy for me to go to a supermarket and grab disposable nappies off a shelf, disposable wipes. You know, there's no getting around it. It's a bit more effort to wash nappies, just like it might be a bit more effort to go to a refill shop. So I come and get up against that quite a lot. So I think it's down to national and local governments to just familiarise people with them. And I think they're doing really well with period products. The fact that they've got period products available in most hubs now completely for free in Wales. Reusable period products, sorry. And schools have got them. So more and more teenagers are aware that they exist. So it's not that much more of a step to then say, oh, by the way, if you're already washing these, you could wash these.
Once you get the children engaged in a concept of recycling, growing your own food, looking after the environment, they use their pester power with their parents. We use the allotments and the growing the food within the school, the big box, teaching parents how to cook the food and then get their children engaged around wanting to eat that food, and then they'll start pestering their parents to maybe grow their own food.
It is about making it exciting, but I think it's about making it accessible as well. So, you know, still people won't understand what you say when you say circular economy. People who aren't environmentally driven wouldn't necessarily be interested in circular economy. So it's about rewording it and saying, well, you could save money doing it like this, and it's just an added bonus that it is circular economy living. Especially with the cost of living crisis at the moment, environmental and climate issues can take a back seat for some people, and the way that you're gonna get more people to engage with circular economy maybe is presenting it as a cost saving instead.
It's about changing hearts and minds, isn't it, really? And I think you'll find some people are really, really good at it, and there's other people who can't get that concept at all. They just want what they want, and they'll do what they want. But concentrate on the ones who have got it, who are nearly there but can't quite get it, or, you know, just keep giving people examples of how they can make a difference and how waste can be recycled and that it is good, and give them more and more examples, really.
You know, grassroots groups are okay, but it's great that they're grassroots groups, but sometimes they don't have the skills to actually publicise themselves or promote the ideas that drive them. So it would be nice if there was a sort of, you know, if the Newport Council or any organisation actually collected together information about all these groups, you know, maybe put them in contact or just publicise them. That would definitely make that would make a difference. I think that would make a difference.
I think communication is such a broad avenue, communication and engagement. So I run a number of events, I go to a number of events, I offer opportunities to talk to residents, the public. We've been into libraries and community centres, just having a chat and asking about feedback. We go into schools, talking to parents and teachers about what they can do. And there's a really long list of what we're doing to try to make it easy for people to know this information. But it does take time, and there's more to be done always with communication, I think. But it's just making sure that everyone has an opportunity to see what is available to them.
What I find hard here, people, no one teach people how to do it. Like even basic DOS, like change the socket. You have to go in a college to learn it, which is, it's very straightforward, you know, but people are scared to do it. So I would like to teach people about that and also show them. And I did some workshops, and you have to see people's faces. They come and they shake, and after 2 hours they're smiling and they scream out like, oh, I never been thinking I could make that.
You know, when you mend something, you've got that connection to it. It means so much more. And when you get a hand-me-down from somebody that you love, you can't replace that. I think that messaging is gradually coming through. And I know that the skills about mending have been lost over time due to fast fashion, but it's definitely coming back. People can see the value in mending and creating something that's unique.
Regarding like the financial benefits of it, that doesn't really interest me as much, but the skills and skill sharing of everything, I think that's more what I like. So like the way I'd like to think about it is that if and when I have kids, I'd like them to have opportunities to go and like literally touch grass and like plant stuff and know how to fix things.
We don't have all the knowledge. I mean, I have a bit of knowledge about a small aspect, and John has a lot of knowledge about other aspects, and some of our other volunteers have knowledge about other things. So it's about making that sort of network together and then celebrating all of those skills and that knowledge together. And people will now start coming to us to say, how do you do that? How much will it cost? Who do I ask? Can I do this? You know, all of those questions. We can help people answer, or we know someone who can answer it.
So as an organisation, like our biggest challenge is the sustainability of the business model. We want to be able to continue to offer really accessible ways of accessing us with our free repairs and our library of things being really low cost. But being a high street retail business, we obviously need to have a sustainable business model. So funding and income generation is always going to be our biggest challenge here. We're working with many different ways of generating income here. We've just opened an eBay shop. We're talking to corporates about sponsoring and aligning with their corporate social responsibility initiatives. We're working with the council and other organisations to try and sort of get that support for the project to become sustainable.
We have shops and departments creating profit, creating money, but that all goes back into the core charity that then gets invested in the parts of the organisation that don't actually make any money themselves, like the cloth nappy library, like the repair cafe, like the library of things. So these different aspects that maybe a smaller organisation wouldn't be able to support, we're able to support.
We actually had the help of Waste Savers right at the start of the project when I actually approached them and said, we started fixing bikes, can you help us? And they were great. They let a small core team of mine go every Thursday afternoon to work with their bike mechanic in their bike workshop who upskilled us, which I really value. And I think Waste Savers will be seeing the benefit of that by less landfill because of the bikes that we save and the tyres that we send off to recycling and the inner tubes that we send off to recycling. So that little investment for Waste Savers has multiplied beyond it as well, which is a good example of the kind of investment of staff time or resource time that we need some of the bigger organisations to invest in.
We are a social enterprise that currently and for the last several years has no help from any other funding streams. Everything we do, we fund ourselves. So as we're slowly trying to build ourselves into a position where we can have more staff, we've just taken on another member of staff this month. We've had 3 amazing volunteers come in this month that have put so much time and help into the business, and they're really fitting in. But when we get past the day-to-day struggles of bringing the business back up to a level where it's properly operating, we'll be able to develop further, give more opportunities to the people of Newport and the surrounding area to volunteer, more jobs. That's my priority here, is getting more jobs for people.
There are a lot of organisations in the local area, so I think it's about building on what we're really good at, and also realising that there's so many people in the Newport area that there is like plenty of reuse and circular activities to go around. So it's just trying to puzzle piece it all together to make sure that as many areas as possible are offered as many circular living programmes as possible, really.
The benefits of being part of the network is that we get to hear about something we may not have heard of. So just getting our name out there, getting other people's names out there, I think that's great.
We want to do more work and we want to support where we can, but we are limited with resources, so we can support in the awareness raising, the engaging, but I think it also, coming from a neutral party maybe, via the Circular Newport network that has its own ambition and its own goals, I think it's the right place for it to be. And a lot of the circular economy initiatives start from grassroots. They start from the community. What they've been doing, their work is fantastic, and they're offering opportunities for residents and communities to be involved and engaged on a community level that perhaps we can't do.
You need a scheme that is run at a national level, but within a city like Newport, who's going for the circular economy approach, I think we need that kind of steer from a steering group or a project or whatever the circular economy group becomes eventually, to help champion those projects and get the buy-in from the key players in the area.
I've been really struck by the excellent works that are going on with groups all across the city, but how then it links into sort of these bigger organisations like the council. So if we keep on in that direction, I think it's going to be very good for Newport. But it needs a leadership, it needs the strategic vision for that to happen as well.
We have a load of disused space in the city. It could be amazing if we really, really thought about, well, what would a city centre look like if we just focused even a portion of it, 1 street, 4 shops, whatever, on circular economy methodology, and how you build that into an ecosystem that is about people's lives.
We all know that Newport City Centre has too many empty shops. It's great to see more residential coming into the city centre. That will bring it alive, people spending their money. I think community-based activities in the city centre will bring people in. Some of our customers here at the Newport Cycle Hub say, if this wasn't here, I would not have come into Newport City Centre. So I think it's repurposing some of our spaces, thinking more creatively about what we use those spaces for, so that they benefit the community. They bring people into the city centre who then spend their money in the shops, buying drinks or food. And actually that's what builds stronger communities, as well as reducing our environmental impact as a city, which is pretty good. But if we can add a bit more, then even better.
What we do essentially is look at spaces. We look at sort of urban spaces that have been forgotten, and we look to try and breathe life back into those spaces. So Maindy's not blessed with any amounts of decent quality green space, very few parks, very few recreational spaces. So it's important that we look at the fragments that we do have here in Maindy and do something really positive with them.
We're trusted and we hold trusting spaces. That is a very important thing, because we got rid of all our community centres, we got rid of all of our public spaces where people could share knowledge that was outside of an institution, that was outside of something that had a particular sort of umbrella to it. But what we all do now, Maindy Unlimited as well, for example, with the library, we're redeveloping spaces that are bettering people's social connectivity and a want to learn and a want to know more about things. And I think with the redevelopment of more spaces and more organisations that are focused on circular economy, you will naturally have people who are leaders in
communicating well with the people around them and who do that honestly, genuinely, and for the better of people's lives.